Hey everyone, so we're going to take a look at Solana today as we've hit some pretty important price targets that we mentioned since our last video on March the 23rd, and I think you'll agree that we pretty much nailed those targets, not only in price, so we spoke about hitting that $40 to $50 mark if we broke $75, but also the way in which we broke that. So if you've been managing to take those calls and take action, amazing, well done for you, adding into areas of value and saving you from all these stupid YouTubers telling you that Solana is going to go to $450, $1,000 back in March, which we said it would not. So if you're continuing to follow my journey and you are getting value from these calls that I am making, then please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get these time sensitive videos in your feed and you can take action. So without further ado, let's take a look at Solana. Quick comment on a lot of the YouTubers out there who have been telling you all year that Bitcoin and crypto is going to go on to new highs and it's just another dip, it's just another dip. You know, we said that this is not the case and we're in a bear market and we are looking for lower targets, okay? You know, those sort of videos do get people a lot more views. So, you know, me telling you what I see as the truth is not the best way for me to grow my channel, but it is the best way for me to tell you, how to make money in this market and stay on the right side. So, you know, since the last video, okay, essentially what we spoke about is we were at this $75 level, somewhere in this range, okay, and we said that if we break $75, not only is it going to be pretty quick, but we're probably going to tap into this order block, okay, at somewhere between $57 and kind of $30, okay, and you can see that that's exactly what we got, and we expected a bounce at the low volume area somewhere over here, okay, at that's $57, and you can see that we're basically tapping into this order block, and we also spoke about this really key important area here, which was actually $37, which is exactly where we broke out from it. I saw a really nice reaction from on Solana because it was the down candle before the up move, okay, and we said that although when we get these small consolidations over here in a really parabolic expansive moves, these don't typically tend to provide massive support, and that I was looking for lower prices than $79, $75. So you can go back to that video, please go back and watch it. You will learn something new and you will almost see it as the Matrix, and you'll be like, how on earth did this guy get it so right? Because we basically take the probabilities and we put them in our favor. So, you know, those price targets have been hit, you know, pretty nicely, and you have to play this level to level, you know, each market cycle and one leg at a time, right? So what I mean by that is, although I have hit some of my lower price targets down here, okay, I am looking for some potential lower targets in a lot of the altcoins, because until I see, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin starting to make their bottoms, okay, and it is a bit of a domino effect in that Bitcoin will make its low, and then typically you'll see like Ethereum start to gain a lot of weakness, and then you'll see a lot of the other altcoins get flushed out. So until that happens, I still am expecting the bias to the downside, although I wouldn't be surprised for us to, you know, make some reversals back to the upside. But from here, you know, the main price targets that I can see below us over here is, if we are to break any lower, then we have an order block over here, just this really small weekly order block at about $14 to $18 over here, okay, and obviously we've got this massive support over here at about $20. So for me, I think the accumulation has pretty much started, but it is going to be quite a volatile and high range, and like I said in the last video, I still am expecting something like this in this range, okay, for Solana to do this over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. So that will be my expectation for Solana, okay, but like I said, we've got a low volume area over here, which we can probably tap into. Okay, maybe take out some more liquidity and take out some of these stops over here is definitely a possibility that I'm looking at. And I think that if we take a look at some of the Fibonacci extensions from the main waves, you can see again over here that we are also getting a 1.618 extension at about that $20 level. So this is really the most important area of value that I'm looking at, and I think that, you know, if we do reach down here, I think this will be a really good buying opportunity, and I said at the minute it will be a good buying opportunity to add in over here, and I still stand by that decision, because nothing there is no crystal ball and we don't know exactly where we're going to go from here. But if we bring this down to the daily chart as well, you can see that we're in this order block, currently testing support. And if we were to move any lower than this, we do technically have this order block over here, okay, which is essentially one weekly candle on the weekly chart. But on the daily chart, you can see that we've just got this price action at about 13, 14, 15, 16, $17. So it is a possibility, I think, that in the at the bottom of this bear market, that we could definitely test that lower end of the $20 mark and maybe tap into 17, 18, $19, where I would probably be buying heavily into Solana. Also, to give you some confluence with some of those price targets, if we bring up Solana Bitcoin, okay, and I think that we've got some order blocks and some price action that we can test over here. Down below, I said about 8,000 sats, and we've got another one at about 4,000 sats as well, which would represent another downturn of about 40%, potentially 70%, okay? That's the potential lowest price targets that I would see for Solana, but I think that another 40% decline in Solana would not surprise me given the weakness in the altcoins. And if we think that Bitcoin is going to drop, another, say, 20 to 30%, okay, and that puts us, at about a $20,000 Bitcoin, there or thereabouts. If we just go on the Solana chart and we say, hey, look, let's just drop that from current price levels another 20-30%, okay, and that just puts us at about $30, okay. And then if we take another 40% downturn since from those prices, you can see again that puts us somewhere in this band of about $11 to $20 over here, okay. We don't know exactly how far Bitcoin's going to fall. If it falls about 20% from here, and that ends up being like a market cycle bottom, and 40% from there, again, will put us at about $20. So it would not surprise me for Solana to reach some of those targets. So set some alerts at those levels for Solana, because like I said, any order blocks that technically are not yet tested, and remember, order blocks are basically ranges of price, okay, that have not yet been tested, okay, before we get these expansive moves to the upside. We do typically come down and retest some of these areas. So anywhere in this area of about 13,000 sats to about 8,000 sats is definitely an area of support that I'll be looking for Solana to bounce from on Bitcoin. As we're about halfway through the video, if you've been enjoying this journey, staying on the right side of the market with Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, knowing where to sell and where to buy and getting a load of value, not only from this video, but from all of the others, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well. That makes you keep up to date with all the time-sensitive videos. So without further ado, let's crack on. So if we just assume that our accumulation phase is going to be somewhere anywhere between that $44 where we're at the moment, all the way down to this $16 level. Remember, if you think that Solana is going to those higher price targets like $1,000 and beyond, okay, even if you bought in now and you got to $1,000 in like 2 or 3 years, that's like a 2,500% move. And if you buy any lower, you're looking at anywhere at around that sort of 5,000% move into the future, if you think that Solana is going to withstand the bear market, and I think it will, and move on and be a major player in the next market cycle. So that's the the way to play it. So I think that we're probably entering the accumulation phase, but like I said, there is going to be a lot of shaking out and a lot of up and down volatile movement in these altcoins. Short-term moves, I do think that we have the potential to tap into this order block over here at about $75, okay, and again, you can see that in the same way that when we penetrated down from $150 back in January, we moved down to this $80, okay, and then we basically made this correction, and then we retested this order block up over here, okay, and then essentially just deviated, formed another lower high and rolled over. I don't think the time now would be to be selling, okay, or shorting the market for sure, because a lot of the downside move has already been made. But I would not be surprised for us to basically do something like this, do like a 1, 2, 3 up into this range over here, okay. And then that would basically, test this price action. Maybe we move into this for the start of the week, or maybe make a monthly wick to the upside here. That would not surprise me. And again, typically in harsh bear markets, and especially in altcoins, just like when they move parabolically to the upside, they do move quite parabolically to the downside. And you can see that if we just flip the fibs over here, okay, is that you typically get a lot of these. Just take this off. Fib. You do tend to basically get to the 0.382 or the 0.236 when the market is extremely bearish, okay, and that basically is again another signal that we're looking for another leg to the downside. So have a look at some of these fib targets over here, and like I said, 77 is in confluence with this massive support region that we broke down from. So I don't think that we go much higher than 78. I certainly don't think that we go much higher, or we definitely don't go higher than $140. That would basically change my bias on basically movements to the upside. But like I said, there is definitely a lot of continued weakness in the market over here. And another thing that I do like about Solana as a coin is it's quite clear where the pivot points are, and I like that. Okay, so we've got these really clear defined horizontal support ranges and these massive peaks that we can actually work with, and they're not like just choppy grinding markets like a lot of the other charts that basically you can't really deduce much from this. So not only is this like a long-term project that I'm looking at, but like I said, on the chart we've got really nice horizontal support resistance zones and a lot of key pivot points that we can work with and basically get some Fibonacci from. So I'm looking at that as another potential plus point for Solana when actually mapping out, where we're looking to go. And if we actually have a look again at the extension from some of these waves, where does that put us? Okay, if we basically essentially just drop this down to about the 4-hour chart, okay, you can see that down here, if we were to basically form some kind of bottom over here on Solana and maybe get some potential upside targets, because I do think Bitcoin does have the potential to tap into those lower $30,000 regions, then I think that, the 1-to-1 is coming in here. We do have an order block over here at about $65, but like I said, we do have again a 1.618 over here at about $86, which is this floor horizontal resistance region. So it was support, is now flipped to resistance. So like I said, this area at about $77 to $90, I am expecting that if we move to the upside, that's probably going to be the main area that we essentially form another lower high from, and maybe deviate back down for another leg lower to take out this 36. But no guarantees that we move up this high, and no guarantees, to be honest, that we move a great deal lower, especially when we're coming into support. So for me, the best way to play this for Solana is probably going to be just laddering in any buys lower than $36. So for me, I haven't actually bought any Solana yet, but if we start moving a little bit lower and I start to see a little bit more of a basing pattern in Ethereum and Bitcoin, okay, and then they've really started to confirm to me that we're close to some lows, and we get some confluence over here on the chart that we're at these key levels that we've spoken about at around that $20, $25, maybe even a little bit lower level, okay, then this is going to be a really good place for me to add. So that's how I see the short term for Solana. If you want to be that person who was following me when I was telling you that Solana was going to go lower, make new lows and hit those massive targets, and also telling you at the same time the right places to buy in preparation for that next leg higher, and getting that right and following my journey, then go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, okay, and hit the bell notification so that you stay up to date with these videos, because I do try to put these out at a frequent rate to keep you on the right side of the market and give the updates as and when I see them. So until the next video, I will catch you in the next one.